Welcome everyone to our planning board meeting for Monday, Halloween the 31st. Call to order, declarations of conflict of interest. And just before we do the approval, we have Councillor McCabe is online with us, and we could have one or two more show up before the meeting's over. So moving on to the approval of the agenda, I'll need a motion to do that. Okay, 1 and 2, you good? Okay, thank you very much. All those in favor? Good, thank you. Everybody's in favor. We'll go to the adoption of the minutes. Again, I'll need a mover and a seconder.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Kenny and seconded by Shalin. Okay, good. All those in favor? Good, thank you. And any business arising from those minutes? I see none. Okay. We'll move right to reports. 6A is rezoning, 550 University Avenue, PID 387902, and it's a proposed School of Medicine for UPEI. And I believe, Alex, you've got the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is an application by the University of Prince Edward Island to proceed to public consultation for approval of a development concept plan to allow the School of Medicine to be constructed on the UPEI campus. This is the subject property is presently zoned comprehensive development area, and you'll recall that council can approve a development concept plan for a site prior to the approval of new buildings or uses occurring on the site. The approval process must be treated the same as a rezoning application, and the 100-meter notification requirement is in place. There'll be a public hearing. And the CDA zone allows council to approve any use or mix of uses allowed in any zone of the zoning bylaw, including innovative mixed-use developments subject to a development concept plan and a development agreement. So in this case, the proposal is for the School of Medicine. It's on the north end of the campus behind Alumni Hall. And for those Charlottonians, that's the old, the Alumni Hall is along University Avenue. It used to be Mark's Work Warehouse. Even I know that. And so again, just as a reference. So that just sort of hones in. It's in behind where the Alumni Hall is. And the university has a lot of land there. It's generally bounded by, again, the shopping center commercial, which is to the north, Charlottetown Mall. To the east is the Confederation Trail, CDA zone property to the south, and again, the CDA property, which is owned by UPEI, the Alumni Hall, which is zoned highway commercial. So in the context of this application, there was a concept plan submitted. It's in the back of your package. It shows the placement of the future buildings on the north campus. If you look at attachment number B with your package, along with the site plan, UPI has adopted their campus master plan, which was updated in 2019. The campus master plan identified this north end of the campus, and the area in question would be was set aside so the university can capitalize on community partnership and outreach. Facilities within the North Campus should be developed as assets for the university, the island, and the Atlantic Canada. The master plan identifies the need to locate buildings for the purpose of research and learning facilities. And there's various sections in the official plan that support this addition to the UPEI campus at this location. I'm not going to go through all of those. There's numerous policies in the OP, the official plan. In regard to the development will be accessed from the main entrance to this. The main entrance to this portion of the campus is off University Avenue, and it will link up with University Avenue, which is an arterial roadway designed to deal with high-capacity travel. The primary function would be to deliver traffic from collector roads to the bypass or highways at the highest level of service possible. Arterial roads typically contain higher density commercial and institutional developments than collector or arterial streets, but generally have less access points for development. So One of the key entrances to this development is at a lighted intersection. There's transit along this section of University Avenue. Again, there's some planned policies there that support this type of development adjacent to University Avenue. The building that's being proposed is a 5-story, 29.55 meter high building. Other portions of the campus are typically more in the range of 12 meters because most of the university is zoned institutional, with the exception of the new building, which is a 9-story building, went through a similar process in the past. The site plan that they've provided shows 127 standard parking spaces to accommodate the School of Medicine. The final drawings, architectural drawings, are to be submitted, and there'll be some tightening up of things as we head into the public hearing if council decides to send this along. Staff would note that this is a CDA area, and in order to deal with a CDA area, you need a certain number of acres of land to sort of deal with a concept plan within. At this time, they're only dealing with the School of Medicine, and on that appendix 2, I think, you'll see a line through the middle of the property. So this project is only dealing with the School of Medicine. The other side of the development, which is identified as Phase 2, they'll have to come back at a later date and propose what they would like to do in those lands. Again, they're asking for to come through under section 42.26 of the zoning bylaw, and they're typically what happens in the CDA zone is somebody shows us a concept plan, and then later on they go back and they develop their project in more detail, and then that loops back through the planning board and council. It is their intention to do both. So when you see at the public hearing, it will be both the concept plan and their final architectural plans. So they're working really diligently so that they don't have to loop back through planning board and council. And as long as they can meet that, give us enough information, staff are comfortable with that. And if they don't, then they'll have to, again, loop it back if there's a change from what was shown at the public meeting. So there is a sort of a tight timeline on this project, and if they don't have to go back for that additional step, we will work with them to ensure that that doesn't happen. It doesn't have to happen as long as it's all embedded in the development agreement. So therefore, if council approves phase 1 of this development as proposed, again, we will hopefully avoid having to go back to the planning board and council to deal with the very specific elevations and site plan that will be all laid out at the public hearing. There's some pros and cons there, or at least some positives and a neutral in regard to this project. Overall, staff feel that it not only meets the campus master plan, it's located in the right part of the city. It's clearly ready to go to a public consultation. There will be a development agreement that will go along with this project. There'll be when it loops back for your final approval, you'll see a lot more terms and conditions applied to this in regard to the location of the building, the parking, just a myriad of reasons, the elevations that they're submitting, they'll all be final plans. But at this stage, Mr. Chair, we're comfortable sending it out to a public hearing, and the recommendation is to send it on to council for a positive recommendation to go to a public hearing. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And the representative from UPEI is here. If you have any specific questions, I can bring her in at your leisure if you have a specific question from UPEI on the project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex. Great report. Yeah, so we'll open the floor up here now for a minute just to see if anyone's got questions or concerns or any clarification needed at this stage. For me, it certainly looks like a great project. I'm glad you emphasized about the public meeting and what you see is what you get, and as long as everyone's understood of that, will make things a lot smoother. So I'm sure you've done that. So I really don't have any questions, or maybe one just on trees. Like I know there's going to be quite a few trees taken out. Is there any commitment to put trees back in other places?
That's a good question, Mr. Chair. They do have a professional arborist on this project, and of course, there are some, like they're trying to site the building to take down the least amount of trees. There are some trees in the middle of the site, but the arborist is working with them to ensure that they can retain as many trees as possible. And again, I mean, this is a pretty nice development, and again, we will ensure that the landscaping, the requirements are embedded in that development agreement as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, any questions, guys, for Alex? Any questions for the UPI representative? Would you like them in to give a little? I mean, if you want, no? Things looking pretty smooth?
Sarah, I just want to say that I think this is really exciting. It's certainly something that we need to really be in support of. It's an exciting endeavor that the universities bring in, and it's just good times. It's really exciting.
Thank you very much, Councillor McCabe. I think, by the no questions or comments, I think most people in the room here have a pretty good understanding of how important this is. Again, thank you very much for that. Okay, so if there is no other discussion, I guess with the conclusion, I would ask for a motion, I guess. The Planning and Heritage Department encourages Planning Board to recommend to Council to approve the request to a public consultation. So is there a mover for that? Okay, moved by Shalyn Murray, seconded by Basil Hambley. Thank you very much. All those in favor would be, and Julie, how are you doing?
I'm in favor.
Okay, good. That's everybody. Thank you very much.
And Rosemary, I'm online. I'm in favor.
Oh, sorry, Rosemary. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, that's fine, Jerry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for showing up. Okay. So, without further ado, then, I guess we'll go back to our agenda. Introduction of new business. I see. Oh, Mr. Kenny.
I was just going to ask about swimming pools and fences around them. Anything happening there?
I'll pass that on to Alex.
No, but there will be. I mean, it's just, there's some, whether swimming pools or some other issues, the enforcement is, we're just trying to get building permits and focus on that, but we are looking at getting some more staff. So we will be dealing with that issue. There's a few of them in the city. We'll be sending out notices that people will clearly understand for next season, particularly the reaffirmation of the city's bylaw that was approved this summer. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
In the meantime, is the city assuming any liability in that issue?
Some of these issues, like a lot of enforcement issues, I mean, some of them have been outstanding for a while, but clearly, I mean, it is something that we have every intention to pursue. It's just a matter of, I need to delegate. You can't just deal with one person. You always have to deal with things in its totality. There's 2 or 3 people. You got to go back out. You got to investigate. Got to take pictures, and you've got to make sure that before that letter goes out, that your homework is done in the event that they do not comply in the future, that they've been given adequate notice that there was an issue, and that you need the date that the site inspection was taken out. So we will certainly endeavor to move on that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Anything else, Bob?
I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so with no new business, I guess I just need one more motion, and that is to adjourn. Moved by Bob Kenny, seconded by Chris Fournier. All those in favor? And Julie?
Yep.
And Rosemary?
Yep, in favor.
Okay, all good. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Enjoy your lovely Halloween evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.